outlets with the orange flags. You can call us at 457-1703 or visit our website at justwashit.vc.
At Lynch Caribbean, yes, we offer comprehensive insurance solutions and broking. But we are more than an insurance broker. We drill down to your core business strategy. We keep a pulse on risk to keep your operations healthy.
On your mark, get set.
Along the way, helping you to drive competitive advantages. At Lynch Caribbean, we have your back. Contact us today for insurance solutions, strategic risk advisory, and more. Call 453-3300. Email info@lynchcaribbean.com or visit our office in Beachmont, Kingstown. Follow Lynch Caribbean SVG on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, or visit www.lynchcaribbean.com.
99.9 WEFM.
Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And the time is now 8:39 here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we are back with Activated Mornings this morning. You're listening to Ari, and with me in studio is Roleza. And we gotta talk about a little comical, well, at least to me, I think it's comical situation here. There's a story on Eyewitness News that reads, farmer fined for stealing 8 pounds of passion fruit. A 44-year-old farmer was fined $300 for stealing 8 pounds was for stealing passion fruit from another farmer's farm. Glenroy York of Sandy Bay appeared before the Georgetown Magistrate Court on a criminal trespass charge. However, Prosecutor Corporal of Police Delando Charles told Magistrate Bertie Pompey that he was withdrawing that charge and substituting it with a theft charge. York pleaded guilty to a charge that on November 15th, 2023 at Orange Hill, he stole 8 pounds of passion fruit valued at EC $40. The property of Headley Nanton of Orange Hill. Wow. According to the facts read by the prosecutor, Nanton occupies 2 acres of land next to the defendant at Orange Hill. About 5:40 p.m. on the date, Nanton went to his farm and met the defendant on his land with a shirt filled with passion fruits. When questioned, York told Nanton that he picked up the passion fruit for himself and a friend. He also gave Nanton the passion fruits he had in his shirt. In mitigating, York told the court that he went to Brown's farm to look for a ladder he had lent the virtual complainant. York said he did not see Nanton, so he picked the fruit to make juice. The magistrate fined him EC $300 to be paid 1 month or 3 months in prison. Thoughts?
No, when I read it, I chuckled, but it was not good chuckle in this case because I just found it interesting and ironic that the person who's stealing from a farmer is also another farmer, or it's just, you heard the cries of farmers already in St. Vincent and the Grenadines with regards to predial larceny, right? Whether it's crop items, whether it's animals, we hear the cries, and if it's anybody who's supposed to understand the situation, it should be another farmer. And it's these are the things that sometimes you have to stop and wonder, like, where is your head at? But was it a matter of survival? And you can't use stealing as an excuse for trying to survive. What about asking the farmer if you could have purchased the stuff from him, sell the products, and then maybe whatever it is, make a profit off it and give back the farmer the cost for the purchase price? To go and to steal from another farmer, to me is just absolutely ridiculous. Knowing that you're probably understanding the situation, which was why you sought to resort to stealing in the first place. We have just too many incidents of predial larceny happening here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to have to see it being done by a farmer, so.
Sometimes I really like to see I would like to understand the process in which they decide sentencing guidelines for certain things. I'm yet to understand why a farmer was fined $300 for fruit valued at $40. I'm trying to wrap my head around that. It seems like the two men know each other.
I think they'll answer next to each other or something like that. I think I read.
Yeah, they seem to know each other. If the guy is saying that he went to borrow a ladder and he just decided to pick some passion fruit, I don't know what happened between that in November and now in, when was this? February? Yes, and now we're in February. I don't understand what it is happened in that space of time that caused the issue to reach to this place where he's being fined $300 to be paid within 1 month or face 3 months in prison.
And I know some persons may look at this as being such a simple matter, but these are the cases that need to come to the attention of the media, especially persons who.
Right, sorry. So we have a call here. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
It is a simple matter to me. It is a simple matter to me. I remember in my growing up days, it was fun, but it was fun to run somebody plum tree or whatever tree,
But you did this as a child, right?
Hello?
You were doing this as a child.
But come on, if I was doing this would all now to be big headlines. A man like me who loves to speak my mind and speak out against the ills of society. Yeah.
Right.
Those
Okay.
days are really happy days. Like I love to tell people, thank God that I have lived in two worlds. The world before now, that was more innocent. There's so much things that get to me. So much things. We're talking about pretty larceny and all of that. Some of us will react differently. I am the victim, or my family is the victim of so much of this stuff. But some of these things, we just overlook it. Maybe we overlook it because we say, well, that can't kill us. When I say that can't kill us, it ain't no big thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of us have experienced or been victims of so many of these practices by those who don't have, or those for whatever reason just believe they must, come and cut your plantain or cut your banana or do. Now, nobody should really, in our society, in our modern society, nobody should really trespass on one another's property without permission. Sometimes you are amazed when you hold up somebody and you question them. They come from way distance, miles away from you. Somebody might, for instance, from Georgetown, find themselves in Andersville, stealing somebody's property. How do you look at that? You see, it's a total breakdown. And it's a total breakdown of our society, how we see things, and poverty and all of that and so on. And we need to be looking at the roots of all of what is going on. By the way, I wanted to also say something on this cervical cancer. I didn't know that it was the second highest killer in our country, where young ladies, are losing their lives all because, well, it has to do with sex. And that doesn't surprise me, because younger people are having sex more than in my time because of what they're exposed to. I don't know how released about that.
How we know this, Dave? Someone was starting families at the age of 15. How it's more prevalent? How it's more prevalent now than it was back then?
Well, even Dave Robertson is experienced with young girls, When I say that, the way young girls approach it these days, they ain't hiding nothing, they face, they bold. And look, I've been off the street for a while. But when I was around, there's so much young girls just waiting for the opportunity And they look at you, they examine you. If they see you look like a soft man or somebody of a particular kind, they approach you and they tell you, they offer themselves. So all of that I have experienced. I can tell some stories about that, but I think it is, and I understand it's $55 to do a pap smear. And the doctor was saying that should not be $55, because how many people are going to find $55 to pay for pap smear? And this is something that is detrimental, could be fatal to your life. But again, it's a whole breakdown. Children are having sex, and then we know the advantage that older men are taking of them. And not only on that side, women are taking advantage of guys who they can take advantage of. It's a total, we want a new society and like that. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, so my question is, what could have happened between the few months that you would want to take this matter to court? Because similar to what Dave said, I remember persons would go to okay, take this call quickly. Caller, you live?
Caller?
All right. I know with your neighbor, you want to always be on terms with your neighbor, but $40 worth of passion fruit to go to court and go through an entire court process, and then now your neighbor is fined $300, and that a bit awkward or is it a case where the neighbor usually comes onto the property and takes stuff, and that particular day you caught him with his shirt full of
caught him red-handed
of your fruits, and in anger you took it all the way to court, which is within your right, but then it still goes back to, well, we always talk about conflict resolution. Like, I do think that could have been solved outside of the entire court process. We have another call. Caller, you live?
Yeah, good day, my brother. I just want to say something quickly. The matter of the perennial larceny, I found it out in my years. Last year, I did this year. And it's common norm now for the farmers. So the farmers have lost literally their produce. But one of the things that is hurting me, how do we fix it? How do you fix people because people are going to steal anyway. Neighbor, I may mind if my neighbor come across sometimes and give me, they pick a little fruit and so on, and they would sit to me across. You could pick a little cherries sometimes. I say, pick my cherries, I'm a neighbor, but I'm talking here now. Why is it that people are doing this? This is a widespread thing across the country. Because a lot of the people are not just doing it just for steeping sake, they're doing it to survive. We have got to get our young people, back to work. We have got to get, I mean that when they walk, when you look at, for example, losing bananas, I'm talking a strain from the topic. Bananas are counted alone for 24% of total employment in our country, 71% of total employment. We've lost that. We have lost agriculture. And so a lot of the younger people basically fire them out, they're not working, so they turn towards coming and, picking your stuff. And the hardest part, they're picking them young because they want to beat the farmers for them. What are we doing? What is the authority doing? What is the Ministry of Agriculture doing? They had a system the other day where they were, for example, saying they're going to have people go wrong and, police it. It failed because they didn't have any money to sustain it. And I'm only saying again, Mr. Gonsalve, our politician, I ain't in politics, no party gonna get my vote. It is time that you all put back our farmers, our people to work so that people are going to be less tempted. But we're just having a discussion here on radio, and then all of a sudden they don't care. Right. You know what is our current unemployment rate?
Okay,
they
thanks.
Tell you 20-something, 28.
All right, thanks.
They'll tell you 28%.
Thanks,
just think about what I told you about bananas. Just bananas are accounted for 71. So think about, we don't have any other crop. We don't have root. We don't have ginger. We don't have bananas. We don't have plantains. And even plantains are even cut in half now. And so farmers and people are literally cash trap and all kind of deviant things. Job pushing, all kind of things.
All right.
We got to get leaders now that could get.
Okay, I'm going to have to stop you here.
Can...
Hamo, could you do me a favor though, please? So I'm going to have to stop you here. Could you call me at 457997 directly after this program, please, at around 10:05. Right? I
Yes,
just
please,
need to,
my sister.
I just want to have a quick word with you, okay?
God bless you, my sister.
You as
All the
well,
best, yeah.
thanks. All right. You were finished what you were saying, Ari?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. So I think for me, you're talking about conflict resolution. Now, yes, I know that this is between neighbors. And I do actually think that taking it to the court is a form of conflict resolution because as you indicated, as you correctly said, who knows if it has happened in the past. If it has happened in the past, the farmer has spoken to the individual repeatedly on the matter, and it's still happening. Now, rather than engaging in an altercation, whether verbal or physical, he's chosen to take it to court instead. So to me, this is a form of conflict resolution. Additionally, I know that some persons would tend to look at these things. Oh, it's only $40 worth of passion fruit. But it's not just a matter of $40 of passion fruit. The point is that the items were stolen, right? The person did not go and ask for permission to take the items. They were stolen, So whether or not it's $40, it could have been $10 for all I care. It's the point or the principle of the matter to take it further. And, sometimes while it is that not all sentences are necessarily a deterrent, we kind of hoping that with more persons saying, okay, yes, this matter is being taken seriously. Rather than paying probably the $40 you could have paid to the farmer for the items, now you have for the produce. Now you have to go and pay $300. So maybe in little ways we're hoping that these things are deterrents. But again, we're seeing it happening way too often.
Somebody say you're a stone cold killer. Look at how you handle the situation.
Crampel, not me and you this morning, Just not me and you this morning. But is the principle in the matter? But Ari, I have you finish on this? I have a curious question for you with regards to this same thing, right? If you have a banana tree that's planted in your yard, and the bananas are hanging over your neighbor's yard, whose bananas do they belong to?
If it's hanging over my neighbor yard and I can't mad if my neighbor pick it. Okay. If I then put something in place to bring it back over to my yard and they reach over to my yard and take it, then that's the issue.
Okay. Now, I was just always curious about that. If something is planted in my yard, but it's hanging over in the neighbor's yard, who does it actually belong to? But yeah, I was just throwing that in there. So, all right.
I don't know. Maybe I'm different. I grew up where sometimes you wake up and you see the neighborhood person that everybody's familiar with, sometimes a drug addict, sometimes just somebody who's around the neighborhood, climbing your breadfruit tree, your plum tree, taking whatever. You might even strike a deal with them. Hey, if you go and climb that, bring some for me, you could take the rest, do whatever, fine, cool. But I am not accustomed to taking it to court. That just seems like a extreme to me. But like I said, I do not know what has been the relationship over the years. If the man is saying he came to borrow a ladder, it kind of gives the impression that there's some sort of friendship or was some sort of friendship there. But who knows if borrow actually meant borrow, his aim wasn't to come and take the ladder. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about briefly the video that was going around with someone crashing into the wall at Drop Off nightclub. I think that happened on Sunday or Saturday.
I'm not sure.
Every day, on CapTrot here and every day, persons ask people to drive carefully, apply common sense when you're driving, think about other persons on the road. What could have possibly been going through the operator of an automobile's mind to be taking that corner in the speed in which they took that corner to the point where the vehicle is folded from hitting that small wall? And I thought maybe it is that it was having some sort of problems. Maybe the brakes went out. But when you look at the video, you see them braking. So how is it that you get to that point? What was going through your mind? Especially a blind corner like the corner at Drop Off a nightclub, why would you try to take that corner in that speed? What if persons were on the wall? What if there was a funeral? What if people were in the area that could have gone all the way south? Because some of these drivers don't apply common sense when they're on the road. That don't make any sense at all to me, to be coming around that place in that speed that could have been fatal for people. And then I'm pretty sure you're not the only ones. But when the traffic police get involved and they start ticketing people and they start stopping these drivers and the minivans, the passengers and the drivers, we come and say, oh, what the police doing? But in cases like that, they're necessary. I cannot wrap my mind around why you would try to take that corner in that speed. It baffles me.
Well, there is something that I said, was it last week, where I think that many drivers drive with overconfidence, right? Yes, you have to be a confident driver on the road. I am not saying no, right? But I think that there are many instances where persons think that they're going at a particular pace, that they would be able to handle whatever it is comes up, right? That they'd be able to break a corner quickly enough. And I think in many times now, alcohol may or may not have a part. Well, I'm not sure about what happened in this particular situation, right? We know that there is the effect of alcohol on boosting some person's confidence, right? But, you know, if you were taking your time, you had judged the corner properly, then this accident or this particular situation would not have happened, you know. And I think too many persons on our roads tend to drive with too much confidence. And this is what results in situations such as these. And I'll be very honest, I tend to find as well that for the way in which some persons drive on the roads, I am always surprised that we don't have more accidents as well as deaths. Not calling anything on any individuals, but the thing of it is that when we look at the crazy stunts that some persons perform, you know, you tend to find sometimes here in Vinci that some drivers take a corner and make a straight road. You know, like, how can you overtake a vehicle not knowing what is coming around the corner? To me, it's absolute madness. You know, we see it happening way too often. Persons are not mindful of their own lives and the lives of other persons who they're endangering. You know, so I mean, there's a thing that I'm kind of happy with now, where we have persons driving around with the dash cams. So these things can be recorded and I suppose reported to the police as well. There's the video evidence of it, but it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And as I said, it's a bit of too much confidence that is happening on the roads as well.
All right. Before we break for the ECCB bank rates, I just want to say Road Relay will be beginning shortly. So Instagram School Road Relay. And if Miller Hussein win the cheat.
And also look out for, I thought, as we were talking about driving on the roads, be mindful, be looking out for the students, because other schools as well have road relays happening, you know. So be mindful knowing that students, our children, whether biological or not, are on the road. So as well, try to take your time, please.
Miller Hussein win the cheat.
This is what we end in the program, this segment with Ari.
If Miller Hussein win the cheat.
And with that, the time here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it is 9:01, and we are presenting you today's ECCB bank rates.